Interesting. Very, very interesting. I just got done testing a question that got brought up in one of my recent live streams as far as like what the Ambro control torch kit can and can't do. And he's like, why don't you do this? And yeah, so let me show you the torch kit real quick and then come back towards the end. You're not gonna want to miss this. This is a really good tip. All right, guys, our infamous compressor makes another appearance. We have a service port here. This is going to be actually for 2 different videos, so I don't know how I'll use this clip, but we have the Ambro controls for brazing. This is our new, essentially, mini torch set that we're going to be trying out. I'll get to use it out in the field, let you know if it sucks or not. It's getting crazy windy. Then I also want to have a service port here that I can test our new VCRTs from Fieldpiece, so I need to braze this in. All right, let's see what kind of flame we get out of this. It's a little windy for this. All right, so this is the Ambro control caddy, and the way it's set up, you can tell it's super light. So what your kit essentially comes with, it's a whole investment. So I'm gonna just keep it real with you guys, show you what you get, what each one costs, and if you wanna, make that investment for yourself. So you're gonna get the caddy here, and you're gonna get the rubber hoses with the bigger handle there in the original kit to get yourself started. And that comes with a striker, some extra tips or different sizes, gaskets, and extra fittings. I'm not sure if those are different, and a little wrench. So that's the initial kit that I believe is like 500 bucks. And I'll go ahead and weigh it. So I love this thing, right? It's been really helpful on rooftops, just taking up this for brazing in a couple of joints. I've done compressors with it. You know, taking up the torches has been more of a hassle, especially in this heat. Right now we have a heat wave, but I'm still getting a ton of calls where I got to go. And my torches or oxyacetylene is on wheels, but even that, like I said, on the roof, it's very heavy. So this is super light, compact. I was able to get about, I would say 8 to 10 repairs out of it. So that's changing out compressors, dryers, doing a bunch of patches, and then I was messing around with a few different braze joints here at the house. So I would assume 8 to 10. What you're gonna get out of this, I believe, is 30 minutes of continuous run time on the oxygen. And I forgot what this one is. This one's like way longer, like a couple hours or something. So I did run out of oxygen first. I also had this open all the way, and I need to see, because they want you to set it to like 60. You can force it, but if you just screw it down until it stops, I guess you can go higher or lower. So you can adjust it till you get 60. I kind of just felt like I opened it all the way, and I think I did. And that's how I got my flame. So I might have ran through it quicker than most. And that's gonna be like another test, is like how long does the second tank last me, because I don't think I was using it right. And then this one, the same thing, you can go all the way, and that'll give you 20. They want you to do 7. So I'll have to use this next set in moderation. I might have ran through it too quickly, but these canisters are about like $30 at my Johnstone. So my supply house actually has this kit and the refills. If you're gonna be doing brazing for yourself, like your own company or side jobs, if you're not, you're gonna have to ask your boss for this. But if you're doing your own work and your own company, your own business, you're gonna be charging a fee every time you braze anyway. So you can kind of incorporate those $30 essentially in every trip. But I mean, it's gonna cover your brazing rods, whatever other gas you're using and stuff like that. So you could charge $30 to $50 just for that fee. You could charge even more if you want to. As long as you have a fee that covers refills and things that run out. I've had some where I accidentally left something open, it runs out, I gotta go buy another one. So just cover yourself when you're charging and brazing. You know, you need to get paid back for all the stuff that you use. If you don't think about it, but when you're brazing, you're using oxygen, acetylene or MAP gas, brazing rods, strikers, you know, putty if you guys use wet rag or hot block or anything like that. And you know, the list goes on and on. There's a bunch of things that you need, tubing cutters, stuff like that. All that needs to be replaced at some point. Obviously the tank's quicker than others, and as long as you're charging a fee or charging accordingly, I don't see an issue with it. You always pass along to the customer. And even if you're not using something like this and you're using a traditional oxygen acetylene, you should still be charging something, because those brazing rods are not free or not cheap either. Those tanks are not going to refill themselves. You still got to charge. All right, so here's our caddy. We're going to weigh it here on the field piece scale, and then we're going to put the rubber hoses. This is the way it comes with. That's the kit. The tanks, you're going to have to buy your own MAP gas, and you're going to have to buy the oxygen separate, just so you guys know. But this is the setup if you buy just what it comes with and you use the hoses and stuff that it comes with. And that is a whopping 11.5 pounds. So that is literally nothing. And if you upgrade to their, like, it's like a braided hose, smaller, I guess you would call it like a jeweler's a jewelry torch or whatever it is. Let's put that on there. And that brings it down to 9.9 pounds. I mean, that is ridiculously light. And those are, those tanks are full. I just changed them out. The MAP gas has some use on it, but essentially that's a full kit. You can throw it in the backpack, which is sold separately. And there's plenty of space in here. It's a little much, so let me show you how I carry it. All right, so you guys already know that I'm a big Vito person. We have our, this is an old MB3 that I had laying around. So we're gonna put these in here. Try to face them, you know, the best that we can. And then I just roll this up. And I actually had a turbo torch in here. And this is replacing the turbo torch that I had. And honestly, if I can get it to work just for what I need it for, like I said, a bunch of patches and, you know, compressors here and there, I might get rid of my oxygen acetylene and just make sure I charge good and cover my expenses on this one. So that is essentially the load out there with the Vito MB3, and we can try and weigh that one too. Right there with the shoulder strap. That is 11.5 pounds, and you can braise anything you want with that. That gets hot enough, quick enough, you get a big flame and everything. All right, so I just tried it out and I did 7 like they recommended, but I brought the oxygen down to 30. I don't think I need 60 like they recommended, and I got a decent flame out of it. So I might try and be a little more conservative and go, if I can go 7 and 20, that'd be great, but I'm gonna try 7, 25 to 30 and see how that works. And then if I can bring it down even more and, like I said, conserve that oxygen and make it last a little bit longer, great. Because the first time, or the first tank I went through, I think I had it wide open. I didn't even pay attention to it. It was probably way past the 62. All right, so now let's go inside where it's not 120 degrees, and I'll give you my final thoughts. I'll update you on the pricing, break it down for you a little bit more in a cooler environment. All right, it was hotter than hell outside, so we are inside in the air condition and we are doing much better. So I have the price list pulled up for everything because I said my supply house actually has this in stock. I've seen it on the shelf so many times and I've been so tempted to get it and I wanted to try it. So like I said, this is an investment. I've enjoyed using it for the time that I have. Like I said, I got like 8 or so repairs out of it, but I've been it's real world use. I've been real reckless with how or if like remembering to turn them off, I always leave them open. I don't know if any leaks out, if I don't have anything tight. So all in all, and then I had them wide open. I don't know if I'm even conserving as much as I should. So just keep that in mind. Your oxygen is always going to run out in half the time of your MAP gas, right? So I'll double check on that aspect of it. Okay, I actually went to go look up the video. It's 30 minutes for your oxygen and 3 hours on your MAP gas if they're just continuous use, right? So your oxygen is going to run out a lot quicker just because of how small the tank is. There's no way around it. I wish it was a little bit bigger. If you could have got like an hour runtime out of it just by making it a little wider, a little taller, that would have been cool. But this is meant to be the most compact torch kit that doesn't take too long to braise, right? So I always reach for my oxyacetylene because it is the quickest and it is the most precise way to braise something, right? You're not gonna heat up too much of it, of the area that you're working in. So I have a turbo torch, which, like I said, this is replacing my turbo torch. The turbo torch is an air acetylene, right? If you guys want any, braising videos, I've been thinking about doing that, but The air acetylene essentially is just, it gets really hot in the surroundings, so you need to protect more of like wires, panels, plastics, anything that's around the area that you're brazing. Like it gives off, I don't know, like a foot or so of actual heat that can melt and damage things. So turbo torch is more for me like on rooftops, out in the open where it's not like a TXV or anything real compact or any reach-ins. And definitely not in a kitchen because that thing will hurt a lot of eardrums because I'm always around a lot of people and I don't want to use a turbo torch when I'm in a kitchen or anything like that. So that's strictly for rooftops, and it's a lot lighter than my oxyacetylene. So my preference is still oxyacetylene, right? The Ambro controls is basically a mini version of your oxyacetylene. It can get, I would say it's in between. It gets really close to the oxyacetylene, especially with the flame that you get. So it's really close to it. It's better than a turbo torch for many different reasons, but it's also going to come down to price. So, like I said, I'm going to keep it real. This is just facts. I'm not giving you any, I'm not trying to influence you, whatever people have said. The whole kit, which is, like I said, the caddy and the regulators with the rubber hose and that bigger handle, you do get a striker and some extra tips and stuff. That will run you, at least for me, 447 at my supply house. So $447, right? You cannot get started with that. That is just to get basically like when you go get a kit, your regulators and the caddy. A lot of kits come with at least a tank of oxygen and acetylene, right? Sometimes you have to buy them separate, sometimes they'll come in the kit. And I believe the last time I checked, I'll do a quick check right now. Usually it's around $300 to $400. This is a little bit higher at 447, but you don't get any tanks. So then what you're gonna have to do is go get a map gas, right? Okay, I could not remember the price. A map gas tank will run you about 15 bucks. So at basically 450, you're at now 465. And then to buy their proprietary oxygen cylinder that you're supposed to use with this kit, that's running you about, it's showing me like 38, but like 40 bucks, right? So it is 465 plus 40. You're at 505 just to get started. And I still don't think that is the best version of this, right? If you want to get that braided cable and because I really don't like that rubber hose and bigger handle that it comes with. I wish it would just come with the braided hose and the smaller tip, the smaller torch handle. All right, so I was trying to look up the one that they're calling the precision torch, which is that jeweler's torch handle that is like the mini one. I'm not seeing it pop up, so I don't know if it's not for sale yet or if it's coming out soon. But I essentially bought one for my oxyacetylene kit, almost the same thing, and that kit ran me like a little over $100, like 140 bucks. So I can imagine this one might be a little bit cheaper, I would assume, because it doesn't come with extra tips, and that is another thing I have to test. Shit. Okay, so no, this is the tip here. This gold part is what is interchangeable. They do send you with a couple of these in different sizes. This part is a part that would normally come off of your regular oxyacetylene, which is this fitting right here. So obviously that would not work. Okay, so what did I say? It's $505 to get out there and actually start brazing with this thing, right? Now at 505, like I said, you can charge a fee on every repair that you use it on, right? You're going to charge, like, it could be a miscellaneous fee, a torch fee, a brazing fee, whatever you want to call it, a service fee. And that's going to make up the materials that you use. That's brazing rods, like I said, the putty, refilling the tanks, and then just the initial investment in whatever torches you are using. I'm also not seeing the backpack on my Johnstone, the backpack is an extra accessory. I want to say that was one that they told me was not out at the time that we were talking. So I don't know if that's going to be for sale anytime soon, but like to turn it into a backpack and get all the it's really big because I guess you can store extra tanks and then everything you would need to braise, and there are like extra little pockets where you can put like your striker and things like that. So it's decent. I don't know the price on it, but the backpack is also a sold separately accessory. So with that being said, the only issue here is you're gonna need to stock up, I don't know, 3 to 5 of these oxygen cylinders if you are gonna be using it pretty consistently. I wouldn't unless you're gonna get a whole, a whole bunch of them. You can use it as a secondary. Maybe it's only for rooftops or only for crawl spaces or only for attics, things like that. Like if you're doing a condenser on a home outside, you're probably not going to use this or want to unless you're maybe actually brazing inside the condenser, like changing out the compressor, or removing those stupid dryers, stuff like that. But for the most part, I mean, I've been using it a lot where I might ditch my other torches for this one, but I'm going to be okay paying the premium for it because I know how much it saves my back and my knees and, just the weight of it. So all up to you, just giving you numbers, facts, whatever you want to do. I'm going to be using it. I put mine in a Vito. So if you have an MB3, anything similar to those bags, it fits. It's more than enough room for it. So an MB3, put it over my shoulder and take it up with me. The Vito Pro packs always have a lot of pockets. So you can roll up the hose and put it in the front flap. You can put the striker on the side. You can put your cutter, everything will fit in its own place. And that's a good alternative. Also, Brian, I have to give credit to Brian Sanders. We were on a live stream and we were talking about Ambro because he's been interested in looking into that. So I'm going to give you, because I did find it at my Johnstone. They sell the MAP gas regulator by itself. It'll take any hoses from any of your torches as long as they're the HVAC ones. I want to say it's an A size A fitting or whatever it is. A B tank takes, a bigger fitting. A lot of your HVAC equipment, if you go get a Hvacr, a Uniweld, whatever it is, at your supply house, those fittings or that hose that you have, or if you buy one, should fit directly into this regulator. And then you just use your own oxygen cylinder, the one that you're getting from your supply house, for your normal oxyacetylene setup. I tried it. I'm going to show it up on screen right now. So essentially, and they're probably not going to like me saying this, but it's a really good tip. It's a really good point that he made. He asked, why can't you, or would you be able to use your regular oxygen tank that you're already refilling and swapping out at the supply house, because everybody has that already. So if you want to bypass everything, now the only thing is you're only going to save weight, because the whole thing about this, yeah, like you get a cool little caddy, but I don't know if you're going to use it. If you have an extra Vito bag or anything like that, you get you don't get the backpack, you don't get the lighter hose, but if you get their kit and buy their oxygen and all that, that is the lightest setup. That is the one that's going to be 10, 11 pounds, and you don't even think about it. The other way to bypass all this and just use it as a MAP gas and oxygen torch kit is you buy the regulator, because I don't know who else sells a regulator like this, because I've seen other brands try to do something similar where it's MAP gas and their own oxygen tank. What's that other one called? Benzomatic, I think, had their own version of it. It looks really flimsy, wonky. I never liked the way it looked. And I know there's other brands that do it. They have nice regulators here at Ambro. So if you buy their MAP gas regulator, get yourself MAP gas. I mean, a lot of us already have it. Hook it up and then just bring over your oxygen with the regulator it already has, and then hook up a torch hose and handle to it. You have essentially a little bit of a lighter load. Like I said, the lightest is using all their stuff, but if you use your own oxygen and a MAP gas, it's possible. And then you just save the weight of the acetylene tank. So the oxygen, unfortunately, is the bigger of the two, the heavier tank. You're still going to end up carrying that. But maybe in a pinch, if you try this system out and you find yourself out of oxygen, or you don't want to go pay the $40 to go get a new tank, you can just still use it and then hook it up to your oxygen. So I thought that was really cool. Tried it out, do what you will with the information, but that's going to do it. I have enjoyed it. It's done plenty for me already, just not even batting an eye, taking up the Ambro controls torches to the rooftop. I've been using the backpack that they gave me with it, and that's fine. I just recently switched over to the Vito. I tried it out the other day. That works great too. And that mini or that precision handle is really cool. It's really small. I do have one, like I said, for my other kit. So if you guys are interested, I do have that in the description as far as what I've used previously, because I put mine in a Klein rolling backpack, and I did already have the light flexible hoses. Mine have to use adapters because they're for B tanks, I believe, and I had to downsize the fitting. All that's in my tool link if you guys want to go check that out. The one from Ambro Controls just plugs in directly to your existing oxygen acetylene, so you can use those with that, or you can rig it up how you want it to, or you can just flat out use all of their products. So go check them out. I've been able to see them at my supply house. Let me know if you guys have seen them or if you're interested in them. I just think it's a really cool idea. Unfortunately, they have some really cool stuff next that's coming up. I just cannot talk about it yet. I should be able to test those soon, and I think those are more of a game changer than even this was. So stay tuned. I appreciate you guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. See you guys.